all those details. We're going to leave it there and shift our focus to some more news coming in, where Congress MP Shashi Tharoor took aim at Pakistan for supporting terrorism during a diplomatic visit to the United States, invoking Hillary Clinton's famous warning about breeding vipers to highlight the danger of Pakistan's long-standing links with terror groups. Shashi Tharoor responded to the Pakistani delegation's claims that Islamabad is also a victim of terrorism. Speaking at the Indian Embassy in Washington, he said, "This delegation is going around saying we are also victims of terrorism. We have also, and in fact, we have lost more lives to terrorism than India has." We turn around and say, whose fault is that? Meanwhile, the Congress MP also rejected US President Donald Trump's claim of having stopped India-Pakistan hostilities using trade as leverage. Take a listen.
Everywhere we went, the points we made were all, shall we say, clinching. Everything that I've said to you today is incontrovertible. There's nothing here that's either controversial or challenged or everything. I mean, where was Osama bin Laden found? Who did Mumbai? Who has conducted these other attacks? Which agencies, if you can call them that, which terrorist organizations and individuals are listed in the UN committee? All of this is incontrovertible stuff. And so they know. I mean, I think it didn't surprise us that nobody came back and said, "Oh, but we love Pakistan, they're a great country." Everyone either took it exactly the way we had told them, or they specifically went out of their way to stress that they had no sympathy for what Pakistan had done. But at the same time, you know, as I say repeatedly, this is not about Pakistan. And frankly, we don't care one way or the other what Pakistan is doing to itself. We do care about what Pakistan is doing to us and to our citizens. That's all the only issue is. So stop terrorism, and then you can be who you want to be, do what you like, do what you want, shop at Temu as much as you like. But the fact is, don't bother us, leave us alone. I mean, that sort of thing is the message. So, you know, we are not going around asking for sanctions on Pakistan or whatever. We are basically saying, if you want to talk to the Pakistanis, tell them, why do you give safe haven to these terrorists? Why do you allow them to function? Why are you permitting this kind of activity against your neighbor? Those questions you ask. Don't ask us otherwise. You know, this didn't happen from the heavens. It happened from one particular place, and that was Pakistan. There hasn't been, because this answer is fully understood, first of all. Nobody has pushed back, not even senators and congressmen who asked this question, pushed back when we pointed this out. They understood the logic that you don't talk to people who are doing this to you. But on the whole question of hyphenation, I've pointed out repeatedly there can be no equivalence between a country sending terrorists and a country having its civilians killed, holidaymakers, tourists, men shot down in front of their wives and children because after being asked their religion. I mean, this kind of thing has been absolutely reprehensible, outrageous. Second, there can be no equivalence between people who are attacking and those who are defending themselves and their people and their territory and their sovereignty. There can be no equivalence. So there's no question. I said this is not about India and Pakistan. This is about India and terrorism inflicted on India. So India will act against terror wherever it comes from. If it's coming from Pakistan, tough. They should deal with their own problems. And then they are going around, I understand, this delegation saying, "Oh, but we are also victims of terrorism. We have lost more lives to terrorism than India has," and so on. The question we turn around and say is, whose fault is that? As Hillary Clinton famously said 10 years ago, what did she say? You can't breed vipers in your backyard and expect it to bite only your neighbors. It's the old classic lesson of Dr. Frankenstein. You build a monster, it leaves your control. That's why they're now getting terrorist attacks by the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. But who created the Taliban from which the Tehreek-e-Taliban broke off? We all know the answer to that. So let Pakistan look inside itself. Let it do some serious interior reflection before it goes around pleading innocence.
Anand Singh on the telecast with me. Anand, of course, big statements they're being made by Shashi Tharoor in Washington. What more can you tell us?
How look the way in which Shashi Tharoor, who is leading the delegation of all party in US, he very categorically mentioned that how. And he also quoted the famous lines by Hillary Clinton, where he said that you can't breed viper in your own backyard and you expect it to bite only neighbors. So he was very categorical, and he said that the young Bilal Bhutto, that he has been talking about how Pakistan has been also the victim of terrorism, and he mentioned that his own mother, Benazir.
All right, we're facing some troubles over there with your connectivity, Anand. We will come back to you momentarily, but for now, we're going to leave it there and shift our focus